going to discuss on the AGI Revolution. You know that World Talent Economic Forums, we have our own research centers in Bangladesh and in Silicon Valleys. Also, we have our partners in India. So we are revolutionize, go for revolutions, what we call Kokoro, wisdom app. So we are working and both with the Western world wisdom and the global South wisdom, and we are trying to build up the new ecosystem. So this dialogue is very important because we are train our AI to create the new ecosystem for the industry, for academia, and for the government agency. So today we're going to discuss on AGI, what's going on in India, what's going on in Bangladesh, or what's going on in South Asia. That is my objective. We have our world famous speaker, Mr. Shankar, and Dr. Tamanna. Mr. Shankar, my first question for you: how you want to introduce your organizations to our World Talent Economic Forums, as well as how will the AGI revolution reshape global economic structure, and what policies should government implement to manage its impact on employment and wealth distribution?
Absolutely. Currently I have understood the Wisdom app to a certain extent and the AGI and how this can be extrapolated for the new economy and the impact that it can create using certain case studies. And for that, one of the things I feel is the new mindset. Something new is coming. The new mindset needs to be adopted for the governments to understand. And I feel this needs to be articulated and presented about the capabilities of AGI, because I do understand from AI, it has morphed itself into much bigger outcomes that one can produce. And what is required to be done is something that I would like to add and articulate for the government officials so that they can understand. One of the most important things I feel is the understanding, the capabilities, the mindset the government needs to have to be able to make those policy decisions. So that's where I am at right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what you want to discuss about AGI and AGI revolutions in South Asia, how it reshaping the global economy?
Yeah, so artificial AGI revolution refers to anticipated transformative impact, and I mean, it's like uh, the potential benefits of AGI are much more than its problems as of now, as we see it, and AGI can revolutionize medicine, scientific research, education, problem solving. Potential transformation includes personalized healthcare, accelerated scientific discoveries, adaptive learning systems, and solving complex global challenges. So, all these things together make AGI something which is formidable. So, what we need to understand is that there are several issues which concern AGI, for example. So, if we look at difference between AI and AGI, it's like AGI is going to work more like a human, which is not true with AI as such. So AGI refers to machines that can perform any intellectual task that humans can do, including reasoning, problem solving, creativity, and emotional understanding. So many of these things are like together contributing to the definition of AGI. That's what gives it an edge over AI. And the potential benefits obviously are like the scientific and medical breakthroughs, economic growth. For example, automation of complex tasks would lead to unprecedented productivity and innovation. So, I mean, in South Asia, for example, we really need this thing. And our share markets, etc., would need a lot of help from AGI to come to a global growth. Then there are several global issues which need to be helped, worked on, like poverty, hunger, climate change. all these things, you have people not just in India, for example, and if you'll see in LA also, you have people sitting across the roads and asking for, begging for food, etc. So that kind of poverty needs to be done away with, so that we have right kind of right kind of an education system whereby people do not have to suffer because of lack of money. So the government need to deeply intersect in this particular area. Then obviously the challenges and risks are many, and ethical concern, for example, AGI raises questions on morality, accountability, and decision making. For example, how should AGI prioritize human values? Secondly, control and safety, job displacement, or AGI could automate jobs across industries. So that's what many leaders say. But I mean, last month itself, they had a major of global leaders, major conference, where they said it's not going to take away the jobs. Mr. Wen said that, but we have to be very cautious about the fact that people would die hungry if this thing happens. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. My next question for uh, Mr. Shankar: what ethical and philosophical challenge arise with AGI achieving human-like cognitions, and how should scientists address concern about autonomy, control, and moral decision making? What's going on, especially in the Gujarat industrial ecosystem? How they welcome AI for industrial revolution?
Yes, I agree totally. With every new technology and every advancement, one of the fundamentals is human ethics. And you can go two ways. You can go on the wrong side of things, it can go on the right side of things. And for building that ethical, value based economy, one has to strike a balance. And that striking a balance is possible when one goes to the roots. We say, with AI, you can fly, and also with AI, you should articulate your life and social standards to be the roots, as they say, to go into the cultural side, to go on the value of human beings. And actually, it doesn't start later, it has to start right away with new economy and the value of cultural dynamics to be given to the new generation so that it doesn't go in the destructive side of AI and go into the creative economics, which is where I feel the wisdom app that you are creating, Professor, is something like what is happening culturally, what is happening on a social standing, what kind of impact is happening. And once that is understood, I think the global north has got very high powered AI systems coming up. They can slant towards the global south to understand the success stories of that which we call as spirituality, but more to do with the giving side of wisdom and how cooperative societies are created by inclusive methods. And with advanced AI, it is possible to actually put things together. You can have the blockchain system of being transparent, and also what I said as education, as in the arts and the culture, crafts, everything is integrated today, and there is nothing that we can overlook. The biodiversity and why what is balancing our lives is something beyond what we ever thought of, because it's not in the textbooks, it is in the relationships that you build. And so there is more to learn, more to give. But one thing is for sure, with advanced generative AI, we can capture all those images, all those voices, and all and everything which is seen and unseen to actually come together with something that will actually build the ethics that is required to go forward. So this is where I feel that advanced generative AI can actually bring change, provided the DNA is structured right. And the app that you're coming up with is a lot of giving from the global south to the global north. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what you want to discuss about this ethical and philosophical aspect of AGI innovation?
Yeah, so as far as what you spoke to Dr. Shankar also, I mean, I guess the AGI development presents opportunities and ethical challenges as machines approach or surpass human level intelligence. And ensuring AGI aligns with human values, equitably distributes benefits, and prevents unintended consequences is crucial. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that, like, I mean, can we have AGI robots as philosophers? Can they think from the depth of their souls? Do they have a soul? I mean, that's very important. I mean, uh, if you have to have a this thing, like I mean, you have to have a revolution. What it would require is of major concern. So, as we stand on the precipices of an era marked by unprecedented advancements in AI, it is impossible to ignore the profound implications these developments will have on fabric of human society. So, how ethically it's going to be effective to human beings is of central concern to many of critics. I mean, how would, for example, can AGI robot be able to perceive a world in future, as in like, from past till it can grasp as much as I understand, it can grasp a lot. But does it have a soul? Can it connect to, for example, to other planets, for example, and so those things are there. And like, if that's not there, then like we would need to leave it to humans to do that work. Because but obviously AGI requires that humans and machines need to come together to solve the problems of humanity. And I mean, I'm yet to see a good philosopher coming out of an AGI. So I would love to wait for it. And let's see how it acts as a spiritual guru. Because in India and world right now, there's a revolution of spiritual revolution going on. People are looking for sense in themselves. And so what we need to understand is that, um, what the concern of uh, people is to see a world which is very open, and which is able to give right answer to uh, issues. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shankar, you are expert of global collaborations, and you are president of Global Chamber, also president of World Talent Economic Forum India. So, how can international collaboration ensure that AGI development remain aligned with human values, preventing potential monopolizations and misuse by powerful entities? Like how human and AI can collaborate and go for Industry 5.0 revolution.
That's right. Uh, there is so much happening today, and there is so much that are possible. But we need to align with the human intelligence of different people from different countries coming together and develop that what I call as collaboration. Trade is one thing that can actually break the barrier between people. Does not matter which country, what their situation is, or any of that sort. But for that trade to happen, there are some there's a catch. The catch is the society which they belong to. And when we say we are bringing a global revolution of how to do business, it is so crucial to understand the experience, the improvement of the relationships between people. Fundamentally, I believe with AGI, you can be very targeted to understand different ethnic groups, their way, the mindset is, what their buying patterns is, what dominates their social standing, and all that come together to actually go beyond, I think, the political nature of things that are taking place. So humans to humans. And at Global Chamber, we believe that doing business across the world is as simple as doing business across the street. Humans are always beautiful, but the point is the frameworks in which the world is getting slanted, it needs the ability to think beyond what we have thought. So, for things to change, we need to change. And for things that have taken us to where we are, it's really insufficient to go beyond. But if we are smart enough, we can use AGI and understand each other from an intellectual standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, from a national standpoint, so that we can articulate our communication more to do with collaboration. So we are not thinking about silos anymore. The whole world needs to understand the new mindset of a new global economy based on collaborative efforts, which is what my passion is, to bring seemingly opposite worlds and bring them together, that the distance between humans can disappear, all because we understand each other. How? Because we can understand each other from the standpoint of the big data and the advanced understanding and interpretations of AGI. So, what we did not understand before can be understood. Otherwise, it would be just what we did not understand. And today, what we don't understand is just an extension of we never understood. But humans have great, great potential. And that potential can be tapped with these advanced generative AI, provided the context is clear. We want to create everything going towards peace, harmony, creativity, innovation, and real impact for a better society and a better experience of life on this planet.
Thank you, Dr. Tamanna. What you want to discuss about this human and AI collaborations? What's going on in the academics in India? How
Sorry,
they
can you please
adjust with
repeat?
this?
What?
How
Yeah,
you want to
please
share
repeat.
your experience, this human and AI collaborations? Uh, what's your thoughts? Uh, how the Indian
Um,
academics contributing for AI research?
yes, academia can majorly contribute to this particular issue. And what I would like to say is that, across the board, across disciplines, this needs to be brought in, even if it's a very small subject, like many of these subjects which are like pretty not so dense. I mean, they can too contribute, and AGI can, there could be a vice versa kind of thing. AGI contributing to, for example, political science, while AGI contribute political science contributing to AGI. You can have for example, AGI and philosophy, AGI and mathematics, logistics. How do they work on all these issues? So these things have to be understood, that academia can play a major role. So for example, in life sciences, for example, I mean, you have medicines research which is required, and so I guess AGI and doctors could work together. It is happening right now, but it's not so much happening in fields like law, etc. So my concern is that, as I'm studying law right now, my concern is that, it should not be just something which is on the top of it, but you need something which is deeper, so that right kind of justice is imparted in different countries. So the justice criminal system of the world should be, like, there should be a revolution in it, and so that people are not punished for acts they have not done, and new kind of laws coming up. So those kind of things are there. And for example, mathematics, I mean, it could be like, mathematicians sitting together immediately working on, for example, if they have to tomorrow have a they're calculating between plate Pluto and Earth, what kind of data would be required. So I guess that would also be there. And, mathematicians could help with the help of AGI to come to answer to these questions. So many of these things are there which AGI and academia together can do. And what right now we need is longevity of lives, and that has to come about, so that people live longer, healthier. And I mean, these things were there in the past as well. In India, for example, Lord Krishna lived for more than 150 years, and so those things are there. So I guess from that time to now, we should have developed a lot, but because of the pollution, etc., um, the lifespan of people, because of pesticides which we eat in our foods, has decreased. So we need to collaborate with North and Japan, for example, to understand that how developing world can increase the lifespan of human beings, which is very essential. Every human life is essential, and that's what we need to understand. Every one last person is important in this world. So I guess that kind of importance to be given to people is what is required. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shankar, according to your experience, what role will AGI play in scientific discovery, healthcare, climate solutions? How can we accelerate its responsible integration into these fields?
Well, I think there is something like the foundation models and the multimodality. So, generative AI has evolved from simple text based models to multimodal, right? So, in that sense, I'm saying the self supervised learning and adaptability, unlike traditional AI, generative AI learn from vast data sets without explicit labeling, making them adaptable across industries. Like, for example, what we are talking about in the synthetic data and AI-driven simulations. AI generates realistic synthetic data for training other AI models, particularly useful in healthcare, autonomous driving, and finance. So that is where healthcare is highly impacted by AI generated drug discovery that has accelerated R&D, uh, reducing, I think, timelines from years to months, I can say. And there are examples to this. AI designed drug entering clinical trials and in silico medicines. So I know of companies that have been able to reduce the drug discovery possibilities with clinical trials that can be reduced, and what take 10 years and millions of dollars can be reduced to just 1 year. And there are groups like uh, bullfrog.ai, which has taken from nothing to a $1 billion company, I think, in 12 to 18 months, using the AI generated drug discovery uh, articulation. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Tamanna. What you want to discuss about the role will AGI play in scientific discovery, healthcare, and climate solution?
Well, major scientific revolution is what we need right now. There are many problems and issues which the world is going through right now, and we have our population growing like anything. We have new kind of viruses coming every day. I mean, what kind of danger we are in, and to protect the human life, scientific discoveries are must, and climate revolution is what we need also as well. So what we as human beings require is a world which is where people do not die of environmental degradation. So those kind of things are there, and so I guess scientific discoveries in terms of climatic revolution is what we need. For our major concern has to be in these kind of issues. So for example, climate, we have been looking at it. The UN has been having conferences after conferences on this particular issue, but nothing has happened. So here comes the role of AGI. AGI can come in and help us develop a system whereby for example, the ozone layer, it doesn't become obsolete, and like it should not be like something which is like people getting cancers, and people getting other kind of diseases, heart diseases, high blood pressure, etc. So those kind of things that which will increase the longevity of people, which is like people people live longer. That's what we need right now. And scientific discoveries in medicine, for example, would we need revolution in this? And there should be no corruption. That's the problem in south area, that we have a lot of corruption. So I mean, India, for example, I can say for India, we do have corruption. Whosoever gets money, whosoever comes to power generally has. It's like very few of them who are not corrupt. And I guess that's true with every country, or why should I say India? I mean, I guess most of us agree on that particular front. Politicians do, many of them are corrupt, but not all. I should not generalize it. They are not all corrupt. Many, after all, our bureaucracy is working day in and day out to bring out success for our people. So I guess bureaucracy is doing a great job in India, and I guess that's the backbone of India. And people, I mean, the politicians are getting the feedbacks from them, and and then they're working, acting accordingly. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. You are from industries, and you are president of World Talent Economic Forum India and Global Chamber. So, what's your thought? Why you think that AGI can be helpful for emerging economy, or how India can be a leader in AI industry? What's your thought?
Like Dr. Tamanna just mentioned, corruption is a natural occurrence in any part of the world when we don't really share and we live in silos, and one single entity or organization, or you think you know it all without actually considering all and everything. And I feel that with AI, with the data, with the advanced generative AI, we are able to understand, tap into something which was never available before. And we can come to conclusions which are more objective than subjective. So, when you look at how to do business on a global scale, it is so important to understand each and everything, the process, where to reduce costs, how to increase productivity, what is the talent economics of a country, which is what World Talent Economic Forum is, and be able to recognize it and appreciate and acknowledge and actually put systems to the Indian talent economy and be able to actually turn and monetize, not just monetize, do it in scalable versions. Beyond that, there is profitability and greater impact. So I think India, with its vast amount of youth and tremendous energy and intelligence, needs to be structured and given a certain format in which the talent can be harvested and people could get the new economy going by the new intelligence, new understanding. Second is the entrepreneurs can be easily made their ideas and technologies coming to make those prototypes and sandboxing it, which can reach TRL levels very quickly because that is the need of the hour to come up with not solutions which have been there before or anything. We are standing in front of something greater than we have ever faced, and that requires a combined effort of intelligences. AI can bring all these talent, and I'm looking at the labs, the I labs, and everything else to be able to work in conjunction for bringing the solutions that was never before. And India is standing really on the precipice of taking off. And I always tell my colleagues that earlier, it was really money that made the things move, and I'm saying today predictability is a good, important aspect of decision making. So if we show how decisions are made and how predictable the market is going, then the investors can come. It is not decided by the money; it's actually decided by the ideas turning into reality. So India is very, very, it's got talent, it has got energy, it has got most of the assets required, and with AGI, I think you can make it 10x.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what you want to discuss about women leadership? How, with the help of AI, women can be more efficient and effective in the leadership and the leadership role. What's your thought?
Yeah, so Dr. Shree, the problem is that most women, even now in India, like after marriage, for example, they find it difficult to pursue careers. Most of the responsibilities of the childhood. I mean, that's worldwide actually, but more so in some of our South Asian countries. We have this problem whereby women have to take care of their own children and the house as well as work outside. So too much of work together. I mean, women are unable to do all those things together. So I guess what we need is that have to train these people. I mean, if we had to kind of challenge poverty, what we really need to do is that we have to teach everybody AGI, so that they themselves can get get right kind of job opportunities. They are not doing menial jobs, for example. I mean, if for example, if you look at my help, she is a great help to me. But what I would also require is that her children should not do the same kind of work which she is doing. So I guess slowly and gradually that culture is going to come in whereby people are working themselves, and other people, they are working in white collar jobs. So that's extremely important. So I mean, to challenge poverty is what AGI would look at. I mean, that would be of major concern. And money should not be a problem, because I mean, these things should be funded so that people know how to operate these things, how to I mean, till the time that doesn't happen, they will not be able to rise. So those kind of things are there. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Shankar, my next question for you, uh, what safeguards and regulatory frameworks should be in place for prevent AGI from being weaponized or leading to unintended existential risk for humanity? What's your thoughts? How we can develop the safeguard and regulatory framework?
Yes, the regulatory framework is not something that we can just regulate by telling people. And I think it works at a very subconscious level. And which is why I mentioned earlier the framework of education, the framework of the creative economy, and the framework of not getting too slanted into the idea that you know the world is going in a certain way. I know people who are making all kinds of gaming, for example, and the children are always into that, not knowing very subconsciously they are getting on the wrong side of ethics. And I would think with AGI and with gaming, we can actually articulate and create some wonderful gaming solutions that can give the framework to take things forward. For example, I was just wanting to also add the last question on women empowerment. Women are already empowered, and so is the people in society, the students and talent. What is missing is the wrong priming. They are being subtly indoctrinated into which is not at all good. But I don't know where that comes from, but people seem to go in that direction. Today, with AGI, the frameworks can be much more, for a lack of better word, it can be a good model for people to follow and adopt and appreciate. Just like there are movie stars and there are sports people who endorse the right way of living, and people learn from these people more than learning from your schools. But if there is a way by which everything is done in a fun, playful way, and there are heroes created around every sector that has the place of the movie stars and the sports people, then there is a way to go and change the framework, because students are more inclined on the glamour side. And then with AI and AGI, everything can be a fun game to play, which is what I'm talking to one of my group friends who run one of the biggest game companies, and I'm saying that, let us say FDI is coming. It has to be a game to make it interesting. Humans are slightly on the side of negative side of thinking, that they will emphasize on what won't work and what will go wrong, which is good. But with AGI, I think you can almost have a new mindset, a new way of doing things, and that will create the new citizens. And for that, I'm very much for the focus. But to have a regulatory body, it has to be enforced based on understanding the negative side of things going wrong, and that needs to be a research-based solution. Where are the key points where it's going wrong? What can be administered to correct it, and technologically how to administer that, and that can be one big research program to see how this can be brought in. But I think at the bottom of it is ethics. Is the human that can control it.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what you want to discuss about this regulatory framework issues? Uh, how you want to share your views?
Yes. So, the world right now is at the brink of third world war. We are seeing, obviously, Mr. Trump came in, and, now the whole equation is slightly different. But, because of nuclear weapons, etc., and, if AGI was used in these areas, and, new destructive weapons are created, that would be a major problem. Robots, for example, we had a movie which was called a robot, and I just remember that movie, and it had a lot of Mr. Rajnikant acting as a, he's known worldwide. That's why I'm very casually using his name. So, he was, acting like robots, and, he used to kind of become several thousands of them. So, we have to be very careful about, how do these technologies get used by weapon industry, weapon military nexus, politician and military nexus. That's what I'm trying to say. So we have to be very, very, very careful about how weapons are used, and how to restrict. Obviously, why do countries keep on working on these things if they did not aim to have a body of a body of people coming together. So what really we need is that weapons. There has to be ethics behind these things. That how much of AGI can be used or not be used. Who is going to control it? That's the problem. And the ones who control it would become the most powerful ones. And that's what we are seeing right on the world. US, for example, is still the power. For example, people who are, for example, Europe, if tomorrow Europe, if US said that we are not going to participate in your war, then EU would not be able to do anything about it. They also have to for example, be supported by US. NATO, for example, would be extinct. It would not exist if US was tomorrow not to move away from the structure. So I guess we need a system whereby, I mean, I don't know why do we need weapons. But if that is if that is a necessity, then it's a very difficult question, because if you say you are going to diversify it, it's again a problem, because you don't want the whole world to have it. And if you have few people having it, then it's consolidation of weapons with in few hands. So what do you do about it? So on those things, philosophical debates have to come in, and AGI can help us, but we have to see that these weapons do not become another problem for the human race to exist.
Thank you. Mr. Shankar, I'm a big fan of SME, small medium enterprise. What do you think? If AI come, the SME business activities, how it will create impact by AI? What will happen? What your futuristic view about SME
Yeah.
future?
See, SMEs definitely are doing their bit from the standpoint of what they have been doing. But with AI, everything can be, solved. AI is basically about the pain points, as I understand, and SMEs definitely have wherever they're doing, whether it is supply chain, logistics, manufacturing. There are places where they could improve, or there are places where they could see what has been missing and find through design thinking that they can take it through various logical levels to come up with a solution which AI can bring. And once that is done, the SME whole methodology, the supply chain, and where it goes, and the logistics can be much more improved in real time, price wise, and structured in ways that the SMEs cannot do it without the technology of AI. Because there are people who are consultants in SMEs, but they will not be able to bring in the new logic without the AI. So I would think that AI is a great opportunity first to digitize, and then out of digitization, you bring in the AI algorithms to find the solutions that they can actually bring about, so they can profitable wise they can be great, and being on time and being price wise competitive by research and real time data analytics. They can almost predict what their future can be and find out the buyers that they are looking to buy, to sell or export. And there's so much possible because the data is available. It's just a matter of figuring out how that can be utilized to increase their productivity, their deliverability, and their geographical impact and location they can understand. Because AI is the solution, I think, if it is used rightly. Though there's a lot of concerns about what you just mentioned about security and all of that, the deep fakes that are in the market. I even read about a group, a South Korean group, that is coming up with a newspaper or an information structure where they are bringing in paid news and paid actual AI based, AGI based solutions that you can be right on and sure that this is the original one. Because today there's a challenge how to understand what is happening and what is not happening based on just reading it on the net. But with AGI, I'm sure that the future can be one big opportunity to be very transparent, very accurate in what one is talking about, because it's not a human engineered thing. It is the advanced generative AI bringing you closer to truth. So, in that sense, also, we can study so many things in the SME side and know what are the price points, who is doing what, which are the consultants involved, what could be your what do you call the component versus the OEMs, how to really bring about that particular component right into the market and have that all designed in one part of the world. And you have digital twins to be able to understand what is the best way to find out the market readiness of a product without really going anywhere else in the world. So AGI is bringing so much in real time that you're almost sitting across the table and discussing, negotiating for SMEs. So I mean, I'm just trying to bring the resources that are already available in AGI that can be usefully inducted for SMEs. But they need to, first of all, in Global South, go digitize, then go find out the tech stack that is required to increase their productivity. And there is a whole opportunity there. I think it's a great combination for SMEs to almost come to terms with their new opportunities. And if they are smart, they can actually stack up against the best, even match up with the corporate companies in the world. You don't need many people now to work along with you. But with AGI, it's almost like the bots working on behalf of you and create a structure, and they can instruct and do much better, efficient programs and projects.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what you want to share about micro initiative uh, in India? How this micro equity and micro initiative can collaborate with AI, can bring the new innovation for this world.
Yes, I mean everything. We have to correlate AGI with many subjects as well as many people, for example. So as your theme itself is that you want to get academia, research, etc. into the whole picture, so that I mean, it becomes so decentralized that even in the villages, we hear children, you know uh, using it. So my personal take would be that I would not want anybody to go through the suffering which many of them do go through, because of not getting right kind of education. So I guess the Indian government needs to do something. For example, in India, So I mean, obviously, development is very much there, in India, and it's seeable, it's watchable from any continent. For example, you can really watch that happening in India, but. So what we really need is to tackle poverty, and also the right kind of health system. We are working on these things, but I mean, obviously the healthcare system has become expensive like anything. It might just be like for example, Indian doctors are very good. So you have medical tourism happening in India, but what we really need is something like I mean, people, the doctors, for example, lessening the prices of the hospitals, etc., so that people are able to get themselves cured. And they should the healthcare system should not be just the prerogative of the rich. It should be available for everybody. So what we need really is the right kind of education system, medical system, and the scientific system, whereby these all contribute towards a civil society which is decentralized and federal in nature, so that we have a system where people come together and establish a very novice, a very nice system. So yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Shankar, what's your closing remarks for today's session?
My closing remarks for today's session is that AGI is the future, and provided we tread very carefully with the right ethics and the right backgrounds, and if we can integrate the best of both worlds, a human with a great vision of contributing and bringing technology, I think we can really make the earth a fantastic place with each and every person included and gain from it. For example, when you just mentioned about the microsystems and all, the opportunity for in India, the unbanked is getting banked, and that is simply because of the new economy, the new technology, and humans can actually reach the rural areas and support them. And with the AGI, we feel the technology extending itself, and that's what it takes because making a true difference in people's lives and experience, human centered experience is at the center of all the technologies, all for the individual. That's my closing remark.
Thank you. Dr. Tamanna, what's your closing remarks for today?
Yeah, so I guess I mean, Dr. Shankar and you have put in a lot of good points, and it's very interesting to see that I mean, India and South Asia is doing so well in this particular field, and I mean, there's nothing stopping our continent from rising. I mean, our countries, for example, there has to be a people to people contact between different countries within the South Asia and South global South region, and that collaboration should go in for for example, in India, we have a certain kind of problem, or for example, South Asia has a certain kind of problem. So we together can sort it out. For example, Afghanistan is much in need of help. I mean, how can politicians just hijack everything? So many of these things, I mean, we can come together and with a pious mind. We should have no ulterior motives. That, this is what, this is our we are going to dominate this country, or we'll get something out of it. No, it's just we all as humans need each other's help. And I guess till the time that doesn't happen, we will not be able to have the right kind of AGI. The impact of AGI would not be seen in this particular area. So thank you.
Thank you. This is very interesting discussions. What is our objective? We want to bring emerging economy all industrial peoples, all academic people together, and we go for new innovations, we go for new solution, and by this way we can enhance our capacity in knowledge economy. Hopefully, Mr. Shankar and Dr. Tamanna, your contribution can help emerging economies, more communities, and we can develop a knowledge-oriented society. Thank you. Bye bye, and take care.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.